Hello my friends, hello again. Today we are going to do part 3 of learning interesting facts about each of the United States, okay? This is part 3. There's only going to be one more part after this, so it's going to be a 4-part little series, okay? If you don't already know who I am, my name's Kyle, and here on my channel, Pensando Inglés, I bring you real English that you can understand and use as comprehensible input o input comprensible to improve your English. This is an intermediate level English video, which means that I will speak slowly and clearly so that those of you who have an intermediate level of English will be able to understand what I am saying. All right, let's get going. The first state that I am going to tell you guys an interesting fact about today is New Hampshire, okay? And an interesting fact about New Hampshire is that it is the only state in all of the United States where when you are driving, you do not have to use a seatbelt. The seatbelt, okay? The seatbelt is the belt that you put on and click to keep you safe if you crash your car, okay? Now, in every other state, you have to use your seatbelt or a police officer can write you and give you a ticket, okay? And then you will have to pay money. But in New Hampshire, it is legal to drive without using your seatbelt. Now, a lot of people probably really like that, but me, I think you should just use your seatbelt because you're only going to hurt yourself. So, some people don't like them. I always just put it on. All right. Next, the next state that I'm going to tell you an interesting fact about, New Jersey. Okay, New Jersey. And an interesting fact about New Jersey is that cheerleading started in New Jersey. Do you know what cheerleading is? Okay, so for an example, at a football game, the cheerleaders are the girls who wear little clothes and they say, "You're gonna win, yay!" They cheer when the team does good. They cheer, W-I-N, win, okay? They cheer, they jump around, and they be pretty, all right? That's a cheerleader's job, to be pretty and to support the team, all right? Now, cheerleading started at a very famous college or university, Princeton, and that is in New Jersey. Therefore, cheerleading started in the state of New Jersey. And the next state that I will tell you about today is New Mexico, okay? New Mexico. And an interesting fact about New Mexico is that the first atomic bomb ever made was detonated or exploded in New Mexico. Okay, and an atomic or nuclear bomb is the most powerful bomb or explosive device that mankind has. And the one that was tested and exploded in New Mexico was the same style that the United States used in World War II to drop and kill thousands and thousands of people in Japan, okay? Those same ones that we used in World War II against Japan, they tested in New Mexico. So, nuclear bombs have been detonated on U.S. soil, but never as an attack from another country. So, next state that I'm going to tell you about is New York, the state of New York. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have seen New York City in TV shows or movies, okay? So you may already know some things about New York. One thing that you may know is that New York is a very, very diverse place, okay? There are a lot of people from different countries from all around the world. And New York is so diverse, in fact, that over 800 different languages are spoken in New York. And that makes New York one of the most linguistically, meaning having to do with languages, diverse places in all of the world. And the first most commonly spoken language there is English. Can you guys guess? Pueden adivinar? Can you guys guess what the second most popular language in New York is? All of you guys know how to speak it. I'll give you a hint. Spanish. Okay? First we have English, then Spanish, and then you have all the other world languages, the Indian languages, Asian languages, Middle Eastern, African. All of these are spoken in New York. Mainly New York City. Okay, the next state that I am going to tell you guys a very interesting fact about is North Carolina. Okay? And a fact about North Carolina is that it is the state that produces the most of two important products. And those products are sweet potatoes, and I like those, and tobacco. I do not like tobacco. Okay? But these are products that sell a lot all around the world. And North Carolina is the state that produces the most of it. One other interesting fact is that something was invented there that I'm sure a lot of you, especially my Mexican friends, know all about, and that is Vicks Vaporub, okay? So that vapor rub that your mom puts on your chest when you're sick, or she makes you smell, okay, when you're sick, that was made in North Carolina. All right, my friends, next state. The next state that I'm going to talk about, North Dakota. And an interesting fact about North Dakota, and this is a fact that I am grateful for because I am using one right now, is that in the year 1887, the very first camera was invented. The first camera was invented in North Dakota, and guess what the brand was, okay? I'm using a Sony. It was not a Sony. Guess what the first brand or marca of cameras was? Kodak. It was a Kodak. Okay, the first camera ever invented in North Dakota was a Kodak. So I'm grateful for that one because I use my camera almost every day. Next, the state of Ohio. Okay, and the state of Ohio is at the side, al lado, de Indiana, of my state. Okay, so it's very close. I've only been there a couple times. Maybe there's some other cool things that I should explore there. I don't know. So, something interesting about Ohio is that a lot of famous and important people come from Ohio. Okay? Some examples are that there have been 7 United States presidents who were born in Ohio. That's a lot, okay? There's only been 46 presidents. Or 46 terms of presidents, okay? Because sometimes presidents go 2 terms. There have been 7 U.S. presidents from Ohio, and 2 other very famous people are from Ohio. First, Thomas Edison, who was a very important inventor. Okay, people say that he invented the light bulb, but a lot of other people, conspiracy theorists like myself, say that he stole the idea from Nikola Tesla. Okay? And another American hero, Neil Armstrong, who was the first man to walk on the moon. However, a lot of other people, conspiracy theorists, say that nobody ever went to the moon and that was a lie. I don't know. Do you guys think that somebody went to the moon? Did astronauts go to the moon, or was it fake? Tell me in a comment down below. Alright guys, Oklahoma is the next state that I will tell you an interesting fact about. And a fact about Oklahoma that is quite scary is that Oklahoma has the highest concentration, which means it has the most amount of tornadoes. Has the highest concentration of tornadoes per mile anywhere in the world. Okay? Do you know what a tornado is? Tornado is when air spins like that, okay? A tornado can be devastating, okay? It can destroy houses, destroy buildings, pick up cows and cars and throw them around, okay? So tornadoes are scary and they're dangerous. And in Oklahoma, Oklahoma has more tornadoes per mile than any other place on planet Earth. So think about that, my friends, before the next time you decide to go to Oklahoma, okay? Think about it, please. All right, guys. Next state, Oregon, the state of Oregon, okay? And when I first read this fact, I was like, oh no, how horrible. But then it gets a little better. I still don't know how I feel about this. I need to think about it a little more. So in Oregon, there's a law that allows people to legally commit suicide or decide to end their own lives, okay? And you go to the doctor, and the doctor will help you. He will give you a shot of a medicine that will kill you, okay? Now, when I first read this, I was like, oh no, because we have so many mental health problems here that a lot of people get depressed. They're just going to go to the doctor, and the doctor is going to kill them. But it turns out that this law is only for people who have a terminal illness, okay? And a terminal illness means that you have a disease, something like cancer, that is going to kill you anyway, okay? So I guess in Oregon, they think that if you're going to die and have to suffer a lot, maybe some people would rather just end it right away and not have to suffer. So I guess if you're in that position where you're going to suffer for a year or for 8 months, some people are not fighters, okay? Some people don't want to fight. Some people just want to end it. And I can understand that, okay? I would rather fight, but I can understand why someone might not want to, okay? So that's a wild, crazy law in Oregon, okay? There are cases of legal suicide. Next state is Pennsylvania, okay? The state of Pennsylvania. And an interesting fact about Pennsylvania is that the first zoo, a zoo is where you go to look at all the different kinds of animals, okay? It's a place where you go, you pay a little bit of money, and you could check out bears, tigers, lions, penguins, all kinds of stuff, okay? The first zoo in the United States was in Pennsylvania, okay? And perhaps a more interesting fact is the man who made it there, okay? One of the most famous and important Americans to ever live in all of history. That is Benjamin Franklin, okay? The man on the $100 bill. And something interesting is that Benjamin Franklin is the only person to be on one of our dollar bills, but never to have been a president, okay? He was not a president. He was just a very important political figure. One day I'll have to do a video on Benjamin Franklin because he is quite interesting and he did a lot of awesome things. For example, the zoo, supposedly he brought the idea of the library to the US, and he's the reason every city has a library, things like that. Benjamin Franklin has done a lot of cool stuff. And the last one in this part 3 video, the last state that I'm going to talk about is Rhode Island. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys 2 little things about Rhode Island. The first is that Rhode Island is the smallest state, most chiquitico. Okay, the smallest state. Out of all 50 states, Rhode Island is the smallest one. And the second fact is that it was home to the first circus. Okay, the first circus in the United States took place in Rhode Island. Do you know what a circus is? A circus is a place where you go and you pay a little money and you get to see clowns. People are doing tricks with elephants and other animals and things like that, okay? They're juggling. Clowns are doing crazy stuff. So it's like entertainment, okay? And really these days, hoy en día, I think most people probably think that circuses are boring because now we have Netflix and we have YouTube, okay? So there's probably a lot more fun and crazy things that you can see than going to see some clowns. But back in the day, before you had any other entertainment, the circus was probably mind-blowing, super cool, okay? Alright guys, that'll do it for today. So that is the end of the video. Como siempre, muchísimas gracias por ver y nos vemos pronto. Are you gonna stick around? Are you still here? Okay guys, today I'm gonna do a little bonus section, okay? I'm gonna talk a little bit more. And if you stuck around and noticed that there's a bonus section, tell me down below, okay? Alright, so what I want to tell you guys about is something cool that I just did today with my wife. So we went and bought my wife a car. It is her first car. that she has ever had in her whole life. Okay, she's 28 and she just got her first car. Super happy about that. Awesome. Okay, my baby got her first car. Now, I'm very happy for her because we've been saving money for a long time. We've both been working hard towards this goal, and it's a big accomplishment for her. But what was cool about it today for me was that the guy who we bought it from only spoke Spanish, okay? And I talked to him, I negotiated the prices, I got us a better deal, all in Spanish. So I felt really, really proud of myself for that, okay? I'm happy we saved a little bit of money, and I'm happy that I was able to do such an important interaction all in my second language. That makes me really proud. So that got me thinking, maybe soon I'll make a video about basic car things, okay? Things you need to know before you drive a car here in the US, how to buy a car, things like that, okay? Basic things you need to know if you're gonna ever have a car in an English-speaking place. So I was thinking about doing that. All right, guys, I hope that some of you stuck around to see this. I'll be really excited if somebody noticed, so please tell me. Tell me in a comment, hey, I saw the bonus section, all right? I'll be super happy. But for those of you who stuck around, I know that means that you are one of my loyal subscribers, okay? Who watches the video till the end, who leaves me comments, who gives me a like. I appreciate you so much, guys. Anyways, I already did my little nos vemos pronto, but I appreciate you all so much, and you guys know, I promise I will keep on bringing you quality content to support you in your English learning journey. All right, my friends, I will see you soon.